Hello class. In this video, I'd like to go over the chapter 32 reviewing problem at the end of the chapter. I'm going to switch out now, put the reviewing problem up on the screen here, and let me read through the facts with you. All right, James Blatt hired Marilyn Scott to sell insurance for the Massachusetts Mutual Life Insurance Company. Their contract stated, "Nothing in this contract shall be construed as creating the relationship of employer and employee." The contract was terminable at will by either party. Scott financed her own office and staff, was paid according to performance, had no taxes withheld from her checks, and could legally sell products of Massachusetts Mutual's competitors. Blatt learned that Scott was simultaneously selling insurance for Perpetual Life Insurance Corporation, one of Massachusetts Mutual's fiercest competitors. Blatt therefore withheld client contact information from Scott. Scott complained to Blatt that he was inhibiting her ability to sell insurance for Massachusetts Mutual. Blatt subsequently terminated their contract. Scott filed a suit in a New York State court against Blatt and Massachusetts Mutual. Scott claimed that she had lost sales for Massachusetts Mutual and commissions as a result of Blatt's withholding contact information from her. Using the information presented in the chapter, answer the following questions. All right, so number one, who is the principal and who is the agent in this scenario? All right, I think you can tell that pretty quickly, right? The principal would be James Blatt, who hired the agent Marilyn Scott. All right, and what method was an agency relationship formed between Scott and Blatt? Well, they made an agreement with each other. They have an agency by agreement. Question number two. Oops. Sorry about that, class. Question number two. All right. What facts would the court consider most important in determining whether Scott was an employee or an independent contractor? All right. So, you can go back and look at the facts a moment. Think about what you heard. All right. So, let me kind of lay out there what we saw in the problem. All right. First of all, there's an agreement. They actually stated in their agreement that they are not employer-employee, and that's not, the only basis that we have to go on. Certainly, people can say whatever they like in a contract, but that is indicative. It's one point that we can make. All right, so they've already agreed. They know that they are not employer-employee. All right, what else do we hear, though, from the situation? That Scott paid for her own office expenses. She hired her own staff, right? How was she paid? She was paid based on her performance, selling policy, so on a commission basis. And so that lends itself also more to an independent contractor relationship. And Blatt would just pay her the commissions that she was entitled to, withheld nothing from them. So that means he is not paying payroll taxes. And so that's another good indication that we have an independent contractor, right? And then last point, it was clear at the start that Scott was going to be able to sell not only Mass Mutual policies, but also their competitors' policies, one of those competitors being Perpetual Life, right? So the fact that she is not only selling for one company, but for many companies, also it lends itself, is pretty indicative that Agent Scott is going to be considered an independent contractor here. All right, number three. How would the court most likely rule on Scott's employee status and why? I kind of just answered that question as combined it with number two there, but thinking about it a little more, we can phrase it a little differently. We can say Scott has a lot of control over her work, right? We know already identified that she's paying her own expenses. She's not limited in what policy she can sell. So yeah, very clearly she is an independent contractor. All right. And then the last question, number 4, which of the 4 duties that Blatt owed Scott in their agency relationship has probably been breached? All right, so Blatt's the principal. There are 4 duties the principal owes their agent. The 4 are duty of compensation, duty of reimbursement and indemnification, duty of cooperation, and duty of safe working conditions. All right, I think we can eliminate duty of reimbursement and indemnification. We can eliminate duty of safe working conditions. They don't give us a lot of detail about Blatt's payments of compensation to Scott, and there doesn't seem to be anything kind of mishandled there. All right, so not sure that there would be any claim to a failure to fulfill the duty of compensation, but this third duty, the duty of cooperation, that is where Blatt has basically failed to fulfill his obligations. He stopped providing information about potential clients, and so basically has undercut Scott so that she cannot fulfill the obligation that she has to their agency relationship, which is to call on clients and make sales. All right, so that would be the duty that we would identify here that Blatt has failed to fulfill. That is the duty of cooperation. All right, we're finished with this reviewing problem. I'm going to close out the video, and we will be looking at another problem from the chapter in a separate video.